Good morning to everyone. So yesterday we have started development chapter, and you have learned how we are comparing the countries into a developing and underdeveloping by taking a simple example of in a classroom situation how the individuals are being compared, as well as we will find out the differences, because each and every individual are having their own similarities and differences. They are having their own interest, talent, health, height. Then how to find out more studious person, how we will find out more intelligent person, how we will find out more friendliest person, all rounder. So in a school level only they will use some of the criteria, whether he is participating in all cultural activities or not, whether he is a discipline, whether he is a creative, whether he is a etc things. These will become as a criteria to compare the different things. Okay, to compare the different students in to compare different students in the classroom. Same thing if you implement that same situation for a country. So it is true of development for a comparing countries, their income is considered to be one of most important attributes. Countries with a higher income are called as a more developed countries than other the less income then. This is based on understanding that more income means more of all things that the human beings need. Whatever the people's like and should have, they will be able to get a greater income. So the greater income itself is a considered to be a one of the important goal for the country's development. Now you have to understand what is the income. Income is nothing but whatever work we are doing, as well as you people are doing, earning the money, we call in the name of income, or we call in the name of wages there. So initiatively, the income of a country is the income of all the residents, those are living in a country. So this gives us the total income of a country. So this, how many people are working? So that working people, they will contribute towards the economic development, as well as a resident of a country. Then how they will compare? Okay, uh, only we have to consider the income. No, if we consider only the income means, then we will not get a clear picture of developed, developing and underdeveloping. How? The most popular reason, as well as most appropriate reason, is population. Each and every country are having a different population. So if you compare based on total income only means, then you will not get a person in that particular country, a person how much amount of money he will earn. Okay, clear picture we will not get regarding the development status. So as a result, to cut down this hurdle, only to cut down this barrier, um, we will compare the countries based on average income. Then what do you mean by average income? Average income is nothing but they will take a total population, how many population is there, they will divide by the total income. Then we will get one average income called per capita income, the another name of average income. So they will divide total income of a country divided by the total population. By that we will come to know, in a country, a person how much rupees he will earn in a country. So yesterday I have told the two international organization, they will play a very important role to give the development status for each and every country. So among those, World Bank. So every year World Bank, they will use this criteria to calculate the countries as a developed, developing and underdeveloping. Wait. Okay. We compare the average income with the total number of the country divided by its total population. We call in the name of average income, or in the name of per capita income. The World Development Reports brought out by the World Bank, this criteria is used to classify the countries. The countries with a per capita income, US dollar. Okay, so World Bank every year they will give a report to certain countries by checking the per capita income. So they will consider US dollar 12,736 per annum. Per annum means annually in the year 2013. This survey is according to the 2013 above in the 2013. So the US dollar they will fix the amount like 12,000. So 12,200 and 736 rupees per annum and above in the 2013 are called as a richest countries. Okay, they will called as a richest countries, and those with a per capita income of US dollar 1045 or less than, it is called as a low income countries. Okay, understood how they will compare? They will fix a amount US dollar 12,736. So above 2013 are called as a richest country. Above that the per capita income is there means then we call that country as a richest country. It should be in an increasing way. Okay, next one, if it is a US dollar 1045 or less than 1045 in that country per person, if they are earning this much of amount means then that country will be considered as a low income countries. So where our India will come? So India will come under in the category of low middle income, not too much high or not too much low, it in the middle. So in India, it comes in the category of low middle income, the country, because its per capita income in 2013 was 1,570 per annum. So the richest country, excluding, we will exclude some of the countries. We will not, what we can tell, we will not calculate under the developed countries. Already they have been developed. So those countries are Middle East countries, and all other small countries are generally called as a developed countries according to this report. So we'll exclude some of the Middle East countries there for the development purpose. So World Bank they will categorize the countries into developed rich countries, very richest country, very low middle poor countries, as well as in middle. So our India will come under low middle income because according to the, even you can see, according to 2017, I have told 2015, in 2017 the US dollar 1820 per annum, we will come under this category there. So considering the average income, whether it is a useful, is the per capita income is useful as well as true measure for the development? No. The per capita income is an average income. It is an income per head of a population per year. Per year, this much of people they will earn monthly. So per capita income we will divide by the total income of a country by the total population. It is a not adequate indicator. Okay, it is a not appropriate indicator to calculate the development status. So there are certain reasons behind why per capita income is a not a true measurement for the development status. So this per capita income does not tell us how the income will be distributed. Okay, we will divide by taking all total income and we will divide it by total population. So we will not get a clear picture how the income is distributed among the different kinds of category of the people. Okay, per capita income may not be the income of every individual in the state. So whatever we are getting per capita income, that is 1,000 in our country, I have told according to 2013, a per person as well as per person will income is 1,578 or something rupees. Okay, in every individual as well as in every state we will not see that one. Equal distribution is there in our income. Some of the people they will earn nearly 50 to 60,000, means some of the people they will earn as a 10,000 or a 5,000 or a 2,000 or 3,000. Then the per capita income they will not tell us the distribution, how the distribution will take place. Only we will take total income of a country, but it will not tell the equal distribution, how the income are being distributed among the people. So not only the per capita income, even the other, I have told in the last to last classes, I have told not only income is a part of a country, but other criteria are also been very important. That is life expectancy. Life expectancy is nothing but how many years a human being is living in that particular country. Infant mortality rate, that is IMF, that criteria are also being used for the development. Education, literacy level are also the indicator of the development. If you are getting a free pollution free environment, if you are getting a less corruption, gender equality is there, these are also very much important indicators for the development. So that is why we will tell um, the per capita income is not a true measure. It is not a particular to tell the status of the country. Okay, by the per capita income only. But the World Bank they will use only this criteria for the um, development status. So they will ask one question: is the per capita income is a true measurement of a development? So it is not a true, because I have told the reasons behind. So you have to write those reasons and you can finish it your answer. So this is an activity for you people. So just go through this activity, try to compare the countries between the two, and in the next class you can tell me which country is most richest country, which country is the most um, poor country, how the income level has been distributed. So this is an activity, just go through this activity. We can do this activity in a tomorrow's class. So now you have understood about the concept of average income, how the average income will play a very important role in the comparing the countries by the World Bank. So every year the World Bank they will give the development stages to the each and every country there. So moving further, income and other criteria. So last class we have told, I have told income is a part and other criteria are also being used. So uh, and also you have learned that every individual are having a different aspiration, different goals. So now we will find out the people not only they will think the better income but also the other goals in broader way. Okay. So starting, we have learned how the individual are having different aspiration, different goals. According to them, what is the development? Income is a part of a development, even though that the people will think, but also the other criteria as well as other things the people will they will think that it is important rather than the income there, like security, respect, equal treatment, freedom, etc. are the attributes for the development also. These are also very much important for the development. So what could these attributes be? So let us examine through the example which has been given in your textbook, that is the per capita income uh, of the selected states. They have selected some of the states. So according to 2015 and 16, the per capita income in each state we will come to know. In the Haryana, 1,62,034 rupees is the per capita income. In Kerala, 1,40,190 is the per capita income every year. Bihar, 31,454 rupees is the per capita income of every year. So actually these figure are the per capita net state domestic product at the current price for 2015 and 16. So let us ignore what is complicated term exactly means. Roughly we can take it to be as a per capita income instead of taking per capita net state domestic product at current prices. Easily we can take a word per capita income of a state. So we found that Haryana is having a highest per capita income and Bihar is in the bottom because Haryana it will earn every year nearly 1,62,034 rupees a person. But in a Bihar, 31,454. So, if a person per capita income were to be used as a measure of development, then Haryana is considered most developed country and Bihar is considered as a least developed state of the three. Yes or no? If you compare only the per capita income means then Haryana is having most, it is a most developed country there comparing to the Bihar. Bihar is the least developed country. Yes or no? But if you want to do a comparative data, if you want to do a uh, to know the status of a development means we will use the other criteria I have told, the infant mortality rate, literacy rate, net attendance ratio. These are also very much important for the country's development. So the terminologies of infant mortality rate indicates the number of children that die before the age of 1 year. Okay, this is the definition of infant mortality rate. Infant means small babies. Before completing 1 year only, some of the children they will die. So we will try to indicate how many children will die before 1 year. You all know the literacy rate, the person as a proportion of 100 live children born in that particular year. Literacy rate measures the proportion of literate population in the age of 7 and above that one. A person, those who know to read and write. That is the definition of literacy rate. Now, net attendance ratio. Net attendance ratio is the total number of a children, the age group of 14 to 15 years attending the school as per the percentage of total number of children in a same group. Okay, so that we call in the name of net attendance ratio. How many children are attending the school of the same age group, that name the same age group they have given here. Okay, so this is the age group 14 to 15 years attending the school as per the percentage of total number of children. The particular age group of the people, how many children are attending the school, that we call in the name of net attendance ratio. They may ask for 1 marks. What is infant mortality rate? What is literacy rate? What is net attendance ratio? Next one, we will also take the another example of body mass index. We will do the calculation, which is which person is most healthiest person, a person who is very weak. Based on that also, we will try to categorize the people who is most healthiest and who is most undernourished or a weak people. Nourished and undernourished is also another term what we are using. Body mass index, we will take a kg of the person in a kg, the weight of the person in a kg. Then we will take the height in a meters. We will divide the weight by the square of the height. If this figure is less than 18.5, if it is a 18.5, then that person would be considered as a undernourished. If it is a more than 25, then a person is a overweight. If he is a balanced person, not more than 25, not more than 18.5, we will try to tell that he is the most healthiest person. So do you remember this criteria is not applicable for the growing children, because every year the growing children, every year we will see the height has been increased, the weight will be increased there. So in this way we will use this kind of different indicators to tell the development status of a country. So according to that, Haryana, 33% of the people we will see infant mortality rate. Literacy rate is 82%. Net attendance ratio is 61%. Kerala 10. Okay, so this is the least one. Kerala, it is the least one. Among the 1,000, how many children they will die in a year? They will die only 10. Okay. Literacy rate is 94%. Kerala, sorry, net attendance ratio is 83%. Then Bihar. Bihar infant mortality rate is very high. Among the 1,000 people, 38 children they will die before the age of 1 year. Literacy rate is 62%. Then net attendance ratio is 43%. If you take the per capita income as the indicator for the development, then we call Haryana as a most developed country. Then how about Kerala? Here infant mortality rate is very less, literacy rate is very high, net attendance ratio is very high. Most of the children they will go and attend the school. Yes or no? Then according to that, we have to consider the Kerala is the most developed state. Yes or no? So these are the other criteria also play a very important role for the development status of a country. So what is this table show? What this table will tell that? So that the first column of the table shows that the Kerala out of 1,000 children, only 10 or 12 children they will die before completing 1 year. But in Haryana, 33 to 36. But in Bihar, nearly 38 children among the 1,000. Then which is the least one? Kerala. Other on the other hand, the per capita income of Haryana is more than the Kerala, which we have been shown already in the table 1.3. Just think how the dear you are to your parents. Think how everyone is so happy when a child is born. Now try to think the parents whose children die before they even celebrate their first year birthday. How it is painful for a parents also. So not only the per capita income is playing very important role, but also the other criteria also we have to consider for the development status. If you see the literacy rate also, Kerala is very high comparing to the Haryana. Even though the person is earning more amount of money means, still these facilities are very little bit low comparing to the Kerala. If you take Bihar, it is in a least way only. Bihar, nearly half of it, the population of the child, they will not go to the school only. Bihar, nearly half of your elementary class would be missing. Those could have been in a school are not there. If this happened to you, you would not able to read and write how we are reading now. So in this way, we will try to understand income is a part of a development, but also the other criteria by taking some criteria, infant mortality rate, life expectancy, body mass index, as well as net attendance ratio. These are the other criteria will be used for the development. So in the next class, the another international organization we will learn what are their criteria for the development, and we will try to understand the concept. Okay, that is the human development index. They will ask what do you mean by human development index and what are the indicators they will use for the development purpose. So by taking the examples, we will try to understand. So if you are having any doubt regarding the income and the other criteria, you can just pin your question in the group so that I will try my level best to sort out your problem. And be freely to ask the questions. So, signing out, have a great day. Bye, everyone. Be safe and be healthy.